All right, welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most profound, most hidden secrets in the entire Zohar. It comes from a section called the Midrash Nilam, which literally means the concealed Midrash. We're going to trace, step by step, the exact journey a righteous soul takes the second it leaves this world. And what you're going to find is that it's not a journey of fear or sadness, but an incredible homecoming. Let's start this journey. So here's our roadmap for this amazing ascent. We're going to start with the soul's joyful departure. Then we'll follow it as it climbs through 7 celestial palaces. We'll witness a divine summons go out to the patriarchs, and then we're going to break down the actual mechanics of how they receive the soul. After that, we'll see its final integration into the throne of glory, and we'll finish with the soul's eternal embrace. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, which, believe it or not, is actually the end. The Midrash Nilam kicks things off with a statement that's so counterintuitive, it basically forces you to rethink everything you've ever thought about life's final moments. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's not about sadness, not fear, but pure, complete joy. The text describes the soul of a righteous person, a tzedek, as just being filled with this incredible happiness. You see, it's not leaving something behind, it's running towards something it's been longing for its entire existence. And of course, that begs the question, right? What does the soul know that we don't? Why is this moment, which down here we see with so much heaviness and sadness, why is it seen from the other side as this triumphant party, a brand new beginning instead of an end? Well, the text explains that the soul has finished its mission. It's done. It navigated this incredibly complex physical world. It did the work it was sent here to do, and now it's heading back, fully realized to its source. It literally runs towards this reunion, not with fear, but with the kind of overwhelming joy a child feels running into their parents' arms after being away from home for a very long time. But this return isn't like flipping a switch. It's not instantaneous. The soul now starts this magnificent climb, a rite of passage through a series of celestial worlds, and each one is designed to prepare it for the blindingly intense divine light that's coming. And the Zohar maps this out with incredible precision. The soul has to pass through 7 heavenly chambers called haikalot, or palaces. A good way to think of them is like cosmic airlocks or maybe decompression chambers, each one calibrating the soul for the next level of reality. And each one is guarded by a specific angel. Now, I know this can sound a bit out there, so to make this whole thing a little more accessible, let's just reframe it for a second. Let's imagine this isn't an ancient mystical text, but a perfectly designed video game. The soul is our player, and the goal is to level up through these 7 stages to reach the final boss, which in this case is just total, blissful union with the divine. So let's break down this cosmic game board. Level 1, the soul enters the first palace, and it's greeted by an angel named Rakmiel. His whole job is just to say, welcome. Level 2, it meets Ahiniel, who helps complete any spiritual lessons the soul might have missed. Level 3, the soul confronts its almosts. You know, those moments it really meant to do better but didn't quite get there, guided by Adar-Hiniel. Level 4 is the Hall of Justice, where it sees how the cosmic scales are balanced. And from there, it ascends into these higher, more abstract levels of pure love, pure will, and finally, the Holy of Holies, which is basically the waiting room for the divine throne itself. Now, as the soul makes its way through these palaces and gets closer to the final destination, something totally extraordinary happens. The focus shifts. A divine announcement, like a cosmic broadcast, goes out, alerting the spiritual pillars of all creation that a righteous soul is on its way. Yeah, this is no quiet arrival. The heavens are officially notified. A call goes out to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. They are summoned from wherever they are to get ready to receive this incoming soul. It's a huge deal, formal, dignified, and incredibly significant. Now, for all the engineers and analytical minds watching, let's look at this through a totally different lens. This is not just a spiritual family reunion. This is a brilliant piece of cosmic engineering. Think of the upper worlds as a massive, super sophisticated cloud computing system. A new, extremely valuable packet of data, the righteous soul, is about to be uploaded, and the system needs an intake protocol to receive it, validate it, and integrate it. And this table perfectly illustrates how that system works. The patriarchs aren't just historical figures. They are the living, breathing embodiments of the primary divine attributes, the Sephirot, that make up this reception committee. Abraham is chesed, or mercy. His function? He's the open port, the unconditional welcome. Isaac is Vayera, or severity. He's the firewall, running a high-level integrity check, a data validation. And Jacob, he's Tiferet, harmony. He's the load balancer, making sure the soul can be integrated perfectly into the core system. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this reception actually works. These three forces, these three protocols, Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet, they don't just act on their own. They combine to form this dynamic working structure, a divine chariot or Merkava that's designed for this exact purpose. First, a super quick refresher, because this is crucial. The Sephirot are the fundamental building blocks of all reality. They're the channels through which the infinite divine essence shows up as distinct attributes. You really can't understand this whole reception protocol without getting the Sephirot at its core. Okay, so first up, the soul encounters Abraham. He is pure chesed, unbounded, expansive, loving kindness. Spiritually, you'd visualize this as a radiant, all-encompassing white light. His job is simply to open the gates and say, "Welcome. We are so glad you're home." There's zero judgment here, just complete and total acceptance. But right after that incredible, warm embrace, the soul comes face to face with Isaac, who is the exact opposite pole. Gevurah, this is the attribute of severity, of rigor, of strict justice. It's visualized as an intense, fiery red light. Isaac's job is to act like a spiritual crucible, a focused intensity that tests the soul's integrity and burns away any tiny little impurity that might still be clinging to it, making sure it is absolutely pure for what comes next. So this creates a massive paradox, right? How can anything, even a perfectly righteous soul, handle both of these forces at the same time? You have the absolute expansive pull of Chesed and the intense contracting fire of Gevurah. One pulls you in completely, the other tests you with incredible scrutiny. Without some kind of balancing force, the soul would literally be torn apart. And here is the absolute genius of the system. Jacob steps forward. Jacob is the Sephirah of Tiferet, which means beauty or harmony. He's the great synthesizer. He takes that brilliant white light of Abraham's mercy and the fiery red light of Isaac's severity, and he blends them perfectly. The result is a stable, harmonized green light, the color of life, of balance, of centeredness. He creates a state where love and discipline can exist together, allowing the soul to be both welcomed and validated without being destroyed. And that brings us to the absolute climax of this entire deep dive, the deepest secret that the Midrash HaNe'elam reveals about Jacob's role. See, he isn't just a balancer. His function is so much bigger, so much more fundamental to the entire structure of the upper worlds. We've mentioned that the three patriarchs together form a Merkava, a divine chariot or throne to receive the soul. That's the classic understanding. But the Zohar pulls back the curtain one more layer and reveals something absolutely astonishing about how that throne is actually built. And this quote right here reveals the core secret. Just read that again. The throne of glory was not something that Jacob just became a part of. The Zohar says the throne was made specifically for him. He's not just a component of the Merkava. In a way, he is the Merkava. He is the central pillar, the actual seat of the throne itself. Abraham and Isaac are the right and left arms of the chair, but Jacob is the core. So what this all means is that Jacob's ultimate role, his true purpose, is to be the cosmic integrator. He is the central server node, the load balancer, the throne itself that takes in the now harmonized soul and seamlessly integrates its unique data, its unique form, into the permanent structure of the throne of glory. He makes it part of the divine architecture forever. And this incredible integration leads to the final beautiful conclusion of the soul's journey. It's been received, validated, harmonized, and integrated. The soul has finally, truly come home. Once it's integrated, the Zohar tells us the soul gets a new garment. You know, just like our physical body is a kind of garment for this world, the soul receives a celestial garment made of pure light. This new body allows it to exist in this new, unbelievably intense reality and to perceive the divine light without being just vaporized by it. It can now gaze directly into what the mystics call the aspiclaria hamera, the luminous mirror of divinity. And that's it. That's the final state. It's a state that's really beyond words, a state of perfect peace, of purpose fulfilled, of ultimate belonging. It's a complete and total reunion with its source.
The deep longing that defined its entire earthly existence is finally, totally satisfied in one final, eternal embrace. The journey's over. The soul is home.
So as we wrap this up, we're left with one last, pretty provocative question. If the soul's reception into the next world is this detailed, this structured, this dependent on mastering the forces of mercy, judgment, and harmony, what does that tell us about the purpose of our journey down here? Maybe our lives here are the training ground for that very ascent, a place to learn how to master mercy, to find strength in judgment, and to seek the harmony that prepares us for our eventual joyful return home. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We really hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.